What is going on, everybody, and welcome to Mountain Motorsports in Roswell for a Chaseontwowheels first ride. And you got it right, the Suzuki VanVan 200. This is getting a first ride today. Oh, if you can't tell, I am excited. Look at the seat. Alright, we gotta get it started, guys. So today we got the Suzuki VanVan. You know, when I was at the dealership the other day, I was walking around the showroom waiting for a bike to get prepped, and I saw this bike and I was like, oh look, you guys got a classic bike in the showroom. And much to my surprise, it's a brand new bike. This is a oh my god. Y'all, this seat is no joke. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, out of neutral. Oh, good lord. What up, session? Alrighty, let's get going. Okay, so what I was responding to was the way the seat feels. Now, I've been on some comfy bikes before, I've been on some uncomfortable bikes before, but I've never been on a bike where I felt like I was on a couch. This is the 2016, it's a brand new bike. It is the Suzuki VanVan, and at first glance, it looks like a tiny little bike, or a tiny old bike. And from what I understand, Europe has had this bike before in a 125. See, that's the max. Okay, cool. All right, so we're at the top. I guess we're in 6th gear. I'm not sure if it has 5 or 6 gears. Full throttle and yeah, so supposedly Europe has had this bike for a little while in a 125cc, and now they have the 200. So here in America, I think the only 125cc bike we have is the Grom. I don't think we've ever had the VanVan 125, but we're on a 200 today, and I'm regretting not wearing thicker pants because it is chilly. So the first thing I really noticed on this bike was the seat, as far as sitting on it. It doesn't feel like a regular comfortable motorcycle seat. A normal comfortable motorcycle seat just cups your butt well and is a very good mix of soft and hard. But this seat legitimately feels like just a normal comfortable seat. It's super soft and it is wide as heck. I don't mean to keep, harping on the seat, but you guys just need to know it's a huge thing. Engine-wise, yeah, we're not going anywhere. You're not gonna go super quick, but looking at this bike and kind of getting a feel for it, I don't really feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to get on a little 200cc VanVan and haul butt around, you know what I mean? The blinkers are about where I kind of want them. I wish they were a little lower, honestly. They don't fit my exact ergonomics. Yeah, let's go, why not? Yeah, I feel like you get this bike for like that eclectic feel that you want a modern bike as far as, reliability and whatnot, but you want kind of a classic look. I think that's what this bike is going for. You get the reliability of a brand new bike, but the looks of a classic. And if that's the goal, then they're doing that really well. Like, this bike like I said, I was on the showroom. I keep thinking I'm not in the top gear, and I am, and it's just just showing me how much power this thing's got. So that just goes to show that in the showroom, I thought it was an old bike that they just had out to show, and then they told me it was a brand new bike, which is awesome. You know, there's a giant crowd of people, and it's getting bigger and bigger, this whole cafe racer scene. Oh, you poor brakes. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Not the pinnacle of performance. As far as height-wise, the bike is relatively low to the ground. You can see how bent my legs are. Man, I can smell the brakes. Brand new brakes, whatever. Let's get her. There's neutral. So as far as the tack goes, you know, you're looking at absolutely minimal. Wow, look at the light for the brights. You can barely see that. So you got the blinker. It's a single light blinker. It'll blink if a blinker is on. It won't tell you if it's left or right. Very minimal, man. But you know, it kind of goes with the whole look of this bike. It's got that old feel. Up here, we're gonna take this thing on the highway. Now, I don't think it's a bike that's going to be great on the highway, but I like taking them on the highway just so I can let you guys know in case you're looking at this bike and you are going to have to go to the highway. Off the line. Shifting up through the gears. Highway entrance 2016 Suzuki VanVan 200. Alright. Don't do it, blue car. Don't do it. Oh my goodness, you just did not care at all. That's terrifying. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna sit back and I'll tuck in, but I don't feel like we're gonna get anywhere, guys. We're officially on the highway. We're hitting 60 miles an hour. We are in full tuck, but we are going up a hill. Now, a little while ago, I rode a 2016/17 Grom. Oh, this thing is getting wiggly. I don't like that. Alright, so throttle is capped out. And throttle is, yes, it's capped out. We are going 60 on the highway. I'm betting we'll hit about 65. The front wheel does feel a little wiggly, though, which is a little disconcerting. Alright, we're looking at like 65, entering the downhill. Guys, we might hit 70. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're touching 70 now. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I barely hit 70 on the downhill, so take that for what it is. I gotta say, you know, wind resistance wise, it's not too bad. Oh wow, I do not like the wiggle in the front. I don't like that at all. So guys, keep that in mind. If you're gonna go on the highway and you're gonna go up around the 60-70 mark, you're gonna get some wiggle in the front, and it does not feel good at all. I don't like that. As far as wind resistance goes, it's not as bad as you'd think. It's not good, but you know, I think because the wind is just hitting me universally from my stomach up, my whole body is able to deal with it. The worst type of wind when you're on a bike going on the highway is the type that just hits your head, like neck up, because then your head's bobbling all over the place. But this wind is just universally hitting me, so my body can just deal with it kind of waist up. It makes it not as bad. I guess we just go across. This is a fun little bike, man. Oh man, those brakes work so hard to get you to stop. Thank God they work. You know, the brakes, they smell like freaking cinnamon toast. I don't know if that's a feature of this motorcycle, but that's fantastic. You know what? Let's sit up on it. Let's give it like a sport position feel. Yeah, the shifter doesn't really feel like I have to do a lot of physical work to get the bike to shift when I'm so far up on the bike. It was much more comfortable when I was sitting back on it. My foot wasn't having to go up so high to shift. You know, I'm liking this little VanVan, guys. So, if you've watched my first ride of a Grom, you know that I rode that bike and I really don't feel like that is a small motorcycle. It's its own thing. It's not a mini bike. It's not a small version of a motorcycle. It's really its own thing. This bike feels like a small motorcycle. As far as the size of the bike, it's relatively similar to other bikes like the Scrambler. Are we really having a problem getting up a hill right now? As far as like the Scrambler and stuff like that, and bikes that size and that look, it fits in very well. It's just got a tiny engine and is super comfortable. And that is more of what I would think of as a tiny motorcycle. I gotta be honest, I would like the engine to give me a little more. I don't want anything to get on the highway with, but, you know, going up that hill just now, you know, I don't want, even if it's a tiny bike, you know, I'll come into it knowing I don't have a lot of engine, and that's fine. But being a smaller motorcycle, I do want to have the power to get up a hill with no problem. I don't want to have to even think about, oh, there's a hill in front of me, let me start throttling up now so I can make it up it easily. I don't want to have to deal with that. So with that respect, the 200, it might be a little small for America. Alright, so one issue I just found is the bike is so quiet, it's really hard to hear the engine. So the shifter kind of got stuck in third. I thought it was in first because I shifted all the way down. And because of that, I start going thinking I'm in first and giving it the power that I think it needs. And I end up stalling because I was actually in third and the engine got bogged down. I couldn't hear that because the engine's so quiet. Yeah, this bike doesn't feel right when you sit way up on the seat. Like, the seat starts angling upwards, even right here. You can't even sit up here because you'll just... Yeah, nothing about that feels right. You know, turning actually doesn't feel that great on this bike. That might not come as a surprise, but I don't know. I start leaning the bike over and I'm like, yike. This is not a bike I want to haul butt on. You know, I think we all know that, but I would expect it to be a little more fun in a turn, even at like a slower speed or something, but it just feels kind of like, ooh, be careful. You know where I see this bike? I see this bike as, let me paint a picture for you. If I owned a home in Florida, on the beach, or some little, if I had a beach house, right, and I was in this tiny little town, this is the bike that I would like to have and leave at my beach house. Because that way I have this fun little thing to scoot around on. It's not a scooter, so I don't have to do the whole scooter bro thing. And it's a motorcycle, so I still get that satisfaction of having a bike. But it's just a little toy to scoot around on, you know, and maybe throw a book bag on and go down to the beach or something like that. That way, you're just scooting around having a good time. You're not having to go on a lot of highway stuff, and you can just do little things and scoot around. I really feel like that's what this bike is made for. It's not going to be your one and only bike that you get as a young guy and you go and learn to ride and you just start doing all types of great riding. This is the really chill around a small town. You know, as a learner bike, yeah, if you don't want to go on any like big rides, like long distance, and you just want to ride around town, you could go with something like this, you know? Now, I don't want to say you're not going to have the option to go to the mountains or anything, but or any type of technical riding. You know, you do you, boo-boo. But if you get this bike, I really don't see that being something that you're looking forward to doing, because there's so many more bikes that do that so much better. You know, the tires make me feel like the bike maybe could do off-road. Like, maybe you could go through a golf course if you wanted. I don't know. I'm not going to do that, but, you know, maybe you have that ability. There's plenty of seat. If I sat up, can I fit Heather back here? You know, yeah, I mean, I could fit two people on the bike. The seat's giant and comfortable, so seating wise you'd both be comfortable. Engine wise you would really be hurting, though. It would not be a good time. You don't want to be riding worrying if you and your partner are going to be able to have the engine to get to the top of a hill. You know, like that's just not something you want when you're riding. Honestly, riding this bike right now, I could not imagine a 125cc version of this. In my head, I'm already like, I want the 200 to be enough engine. I want to be able to tell you guys, yeah, this is a great little fun bike, but it just doesn't have quite enough engine that it needs to be the bike that I want it to be. I honestly feel like if this bike had 50 to 100 more cc's, it would be in that magic moment. I realized that this bike is probably more focused in the Euro market with A2s and all that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I'm not going to talk about it. I kind of feel like that's where this bike is kind of aiming towards. You know, this 200cc is really pushing it when you bring a bike to America. I really feel like you got to be in that 250 to 300cc range. Alright, let's take a look at this little VanVan, because I feel like that's one of the things that it really has going for it is looks. I think Suzuki got their kill switches made by the same people that Honda did. Now that's one thing I'm not really a fan of. Look at that. So the bike is off right now. Let's turn it on. You have no clue the bike is on. It's kind of old in that regard, but okay. Alright, so 2016 Suzuki VanVan 200. Tiny little engine. You know, the thing is built really well, but do you guys see that old style? Like, look at that. If I showed you a bike like this, and I told you, like, when do you think this bike was originally made? You'd be like, oh, that looks like a remade, like, 1960s, 1970s bike. 2016. You know, if you're into that really old look, this is you, man. This is you. Exhaust is almost hilariously big. I've shown you guys these swing arms before. For some reason, I just don't like those. I do love, like, this is a simple thing, but, like, being able to, like, see the throttle open and close, like, that's really cool. That kind of stuff's awesome for me. You know, honestly, looks-wise, I don't have a problem with it. I love the blue and white combo. Look at the wheels, man. Look how big those things are. You could totally, like, look, that is some serious tread. I'm sure this thing could go off-road. I'm not going to test if it can go off-road, but based on these tires, I think it could. It's got the spoked tires instead of like the typical motorcycle tires. You could have this whole little all dual purpose thing. I'm pretty sure that Suzuki has this VanVan 200 listed under the dual sport and under the standard motorcycle class. Check out the seat. Look how wide that thing is, man. That seat is as wide as I am. And it's got this little like ribbed kind of look. Look at this. So comfortable. I assume this is the toolbox. Yeah, that looks like a little toolbox, a little tool pouch in the back. It's got good looks, man. So let's crank this thing up and take a listen to it. Before I do, if you guys want to see some high-def photos of this cute little thing, go check out the blog post that I do for every first ride. It's on Chaseontwowheels.com. HD photos, some audio clips so you can actually hear what the engine sounds like with a nice microphone, and I rate the bikes. So if you guys are interested in that or you want to see more about this bike, Chaseontwowheels.com. But for now, let's crank this thing up. I assume it's on. There you go. That's about it, man. God, the poor little tail just shakes all over the place when you rev it. Look at this. It doesn't even know what to do. Alright, let's finish this thing up. Look at that big old seat. My goodness. Oh, wow. Alright, so these black areas, let's pull over for a second in case a car comes. So standing up, hypothetically, with the wheels like that, you'd think the bike could go off-road, right? So you might want to stand up and you go over a hill, and that thing is the first thing your leg hits. Interesting. Alrighty, and we're off with the VanVan. The little 200cc that could. You know, I'm liking this gas tank. I'm liking the thinness. It gives that bike a little playfulness of having this tiny little toy, because the gas tank is so thin. A lot of motorcycle gas tanks, you know, are big and bulbous. This thing is like look at it. My legs can fit straight out. I don't know if I'd want to ride like this, but I could. How many comments am I gonna get if my pants are too short? Can you imagine this in the beach, man? Look at this. You get a couple clip-ons down here, and you got footrests. Oh, you can put them there? Oh, dude. This is it. This is the way this bike is meant to be ridden. Just chilling. I need a throttle lock right now, and dude, I am chill. Red light. I'm about to catch a cramp in my leg. Okay, so be careful if you're doing the laydown technique, because your leg will cramp up. Alright guys, so what are my final thoughts on the 2016 Suzuki VanVan 200? I feel like it is a cool, old-looking, eclectic motorcycle that needs a little bit more engine to really come into its own, although using the motorcycle like I am currently really makes me understand the potential of this bike. With my legs fully extended in a comfortable position, probably making everybody that passes laugh. So who do I see getting this bike? I'm thinking you live in a town that's really small and you want to scoot around town, but you don't want a scooter. You want a motorcycle. This is the motorcycle that you get to scoot around town. And if I had a beach house and tons of money to waste, obviously if I had a beach house I would have tons of money to waste, but I would get a little bike like this and I would scoot around town. I would scoot my butt to the beach. Probably wouldn't take a surfboard because Lord knows I can't surf, but you know what? That's the situation. That's the place I put myself in thinking about this motorcycle. If I had a cool old eclectic house, I would want a cool old eclectic looking bike that has all the advantages of a brand new motorcycle. That is what I feel like this bike does really well. That is what you have to keep in mind when you're looking to a bike like this, guys. Overall, I think this bike has a very specific purpose, and I think that's the crowd that this bike is catering to, you know, and for that it does a really good job. But guys, that brings me to the end of the 2016 Suzuki VanVan 200. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a little bit, and hopefully that helps your buying decisions if you're looking into the VanVan. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button. If you didn't enjoy this video, let me know why in the comments so I can make better content focused for you guys. And guys, I also got to give a shout out to Mountain Motorsports, this time in Roswell, for letting me borrow these bikes and ride them for the first time and let you guys know what I think about the bikes so that you guys can know what you should go first ride. I appreciate you guys watching this video and spending some time with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Later. This is the motorcycle that was raised by scooters thinking it was a scooter, but it's actually a motorcycle. That's what it is. That explains everything. There you go.